Scorpio is upon us! Hi guys, it's me, Paranormal Sarah, Sarah Soderlund, and I am tuning in to give you the Astro cheat. So, get your coffee. If you've been feeling it, and I know that you have, then join me. Because like some of you that have been joining me on whether it be Instagram, where I share a lot of my altars, my rituals, my spells, my photography, or Facebook, where I've been known to do live mini readings, free readings, crazy readings, readings here, readings there, readings everywhere, or here on the growing YouTube channel. I say growing because that's my good intentions, but let's face it, I've got 2 small children. I'm trying to start my second business and write my 3rd book, and I'm losing my mind. But no, really, trying to keep up with intuitive reading, psychic clients, traveling for the paranormal conferences here, photography sessions there. Part of what makes me a jack of all trades is that I'm always very busy, but that also means it's very difficult for me to have a set routine. And so, you know, the success in a vlog or blog or any of that is about routine. And though I want all these followers and it would be great to make money off of blogging, and I know that that's important and possible, my intentions this past year have really been to accumulate a network and reach out to and provide a resource for people who are interested in mixing and mingling science, spirituality, and psychology, because that's what I do on my podcast for now almost 13 years. And it's something that I've done in my books, and this is just another way for me to provide a visual and provide self-care and routine check-ins for what it is that I'm doing and adding to my own intuition. So I've been telling my clients this last year, I've never really been one to subscribe to astrology. I remember signing up in college for astronomy, thinking, well, I grew up in a crazy household, and I'm familiar with the zodiac, like, sign me up. And that's not what it was about. It was a lot of math, and it was a lot of calculus, and it was a lot of zenith here and neon there, and whoa. But I made it, barely by the skin of my teeth. And I learned a lot. I kind of got a little bit of an aversion, you could say. But in the last year, with health concerns with my gallbladder and my kidneys, living in the cities and kind of living under high exposure and trying to minimize some of that and making a big life change and moving and yada, 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 yada. It was an addition to my self-journal and to my intuition to add astrology. So I started sharing some of my favorite people that have meant a lot to me and that I followed in the last year, started keeping a journal, adding some of those energies to my predictions and to my reads and to my meditations, and kind of touching base with, well, the moon affects us, the sun affects us, Mars, why wouldn't it affect us? It inspires us, and so of course it affects us. It's an influence that's swirling around us, and the energy is absolutely something we share with all the planetary things, whether it be asteroids or whatever. It's kind of cool, and it's also, for me as a mom, it's fun to get my children involved because we get our big telescope out and we get to actually see this in the sky, and we get to apply our spirituality to something that we can see, which is fun. So join me. Get your pen and papers ready. Are you ready? Here we go. So today, did you feel it? Yesterday was high emotions. Not only was it the election day, but the emotions. I cried. I stubbed my toe. I burned my breakfast burrito. I was late for very important dates. It was like, oh, just kill me. My eyeliner smeared. First world problems. You know what I'm talking about. But it was one of those days where it was very emotional, and just dealing with a lot of things. Lo and behold, on the 6th, Uranus went retro into Aries, starts causing us to look ahead, starts to make us think about what routines and habits we can break and form, and how can we better ourselves for transformation. So Uranus does this little, and we start kind of feeling the shift within ourselves. But then also the new moon. It's right on the precipice of that new moon that's arching in, right? What did I start with? Scorpio. I always think of my dad. He's a Scorpio. And this is, of course, this new moon wanting to give us a sense of purpose. New purpose. Great purpose! Right, Opal? Right. And then Jupiter lining in with Sagittarius for the first time in 11 years. And inspiring truth. Inspiring knowledge. Almost requiring it. You sit down and think about all the Scorpios in your life. All those people celebrating their birthdays right about now. There is a sense of sensual, dedicated, jealous, fueled passion. It's a fire. It can be spontaneous. It can get out of control. It can be heated. All of those things, right? You kind of apply psychology and you just kind of talk about it out loud. There's a lot of great benefits, pros and cons, and we just evaluate them, knowing that those energies are going to be strong in the atmosphere right now. And the new moon moving into, the native culture, we call it the beaver moon. But it's a really powerful time where truth is going to prevail, and we are going to fight for, stand for, speak up for our truest desires. So, knowing that about the 6th and 7th, and knowing that today's the 7th, and we're in the new moon in Scorpio, it's like shitballs, right? Jupiter moving into Sagittarius, all of this stuff moving in. Now tomorrow Jupiter is really in Sagittarius. It's all about open, I think of Dennis Quaid, open your mind to me. Understanding others. It's going to really be important that we sit back, whether it's politically, religious, spiritual, our own family, our own selves, our ghosts, our things that are in our minds. We sit back at like a family table, so to speak, and we try and do our very best to open our mind to understanding those around us. Now, frequency, it's kind of interesting. Jupiter and Uranus, to me, Jupiter I love. We just learned some new things about Jupiter, right? It's not a big gas giant. It actually has a core, which makes sense. I feel like that's going to be how they all are. They're not huge, just gas fluff. There is something in there, something solid. And so now we know this about Jupiter, and Uranus changes kind of our life values, and it's the mystery wild card that always hits you where you don't expect. And it requires this certain flux. And when I meditated on this, I really kind of, one of my spirit guides, it's kind of like the Big Lebowski, the dude. Respect the lull. But seriously. Respect the lull. That was the message that came through to me from Spirit. And I thought, this is kind of like that Big Lebowski, Owen Wilson kind of energy that just requires you to lay back while everyone else is philandering about, trying to figure out how to score a perfect 10 on their ride of this cool wave like on Surf's Up. Really, it's about catching a moment, something beautiful that you cannot control, okay? So relax and listen to the vibes around you. But the next best thing is going to be happening on the 15th. So we've got a few days. So prepare yourself, because that's going to be the first quarter. And the moon's going to be in our favorite song, in Aquarius, first quarter moon in Aquarius. Review your plans, assess your life. Uncertainty will love and find you. Pleasure will find you too. You're going to be really wanting to evaluate uncertainty, love, pleasure. If you've not found happiness from all of the life changes that this year has provided, especially these last 3 months, because if you didn't prepare for it or plan for it, you've got it anyway. Hopefully you planned for it. Hopefully you were listening. We've been talking about this, guys. But now it's come and we're kind of making these big life transformations, and Scorpio is telling us we need it to be in our biggest desires. And on the 15th, on that first quarter moon in Aquarius, it's going to be all about assessing your progress. The universe is going to be like, okay, parent-teacher conference, how are you doing? I see you're still not listening to me, and I'm going to fucking make you listen. It's been too long now. You're fighting and resisting, and so don't do that. Just let go of any uncertainty and really find pleasure with investing in your own self and your health, exercise, good routines, right? We felt it last night when we were all anxious and emotional and everybody was feeling unrest. Consciously, unconsciously, globally. Ooh. We were thinking, you know, I should start doing this. I should start doing that. Like life is, we start feeling these feelings. This is that new moon energy really helping us strip things down, baby, like a strip tease with Demi Moore. Get down to business. Get down to the real, raw, nitty-gritty of things. What is it that we need and want? So be ready for kind of that assessment on the 15th of yourself. Be prepared for what it is that you want to know that you're working on, and know that you are doing it. How do you know you're doing it? How do you know that you're going to be setting in those routines? Start making a list right now. The 16th, look out. I got two things written down. The 16th, Venus goes direct. Mercury goes retrograde. What? Everyone freak out. It may not affect you at all. Mercury retro. I hear you, Mercury retrograde. Trying to mess with my speech. Don't. But the 16th energy, good Lord, that particular Mercury retrograde is going to make things complicated. It's going to be like a Fergie song. It's going to be a jibble jamble jumble of just what is even happening, right? Don't travel that day, preferably. Things are moving in Libra, and people are ready to negotiate things. Things are coming to a head. Energy is going to be hot. I wrote down Indian givers. I don't know if anyone grew up with that term in this big, don't anybody get offended world. I'm not very PR appropriate, sorry. A lot of my ancestry is Cherokee Native, and you would call someone an Indian giver on the playground or at home. If they took something from you, they gave it to you and then wanted it back. You know, you're being an Indian giver. And there's going to be a lot of that crap happening on the 16th, so look out. Hold on to your rabbit's foot with an extra finger. And there's going to be that Mercury retrograde causing a little havoc in our lives. So don't dwell on things. When stuff just crashes, be like, I see you, Mercury, over there, doing your thing, crashing all the things, wrecking all the things. I see you, Mercury retrograde, crashing all the things, wrecking all the things. Just don't dwell on it, okay? On the 16th, I give you permission not to dwell on that kind of crap. But on the 19th, mark your calendars, guys. Again, I told you we're going through this. This is an astrological cheat. And I'm kind of telling you why, but if you care enough, you'll do the research yourself, right? I'm trying to hook you into doing it. Join me on the crazy train. On 19th of November, Mars goes square with Jupiter. Well, what does that mean? Well, think about Mars. Think about all the archetypes of Mars that we know. Mars in the Greek and the Romans and all this. He's this, you know, Mars is fire. Mars is passion. Mars is lava. Mars is Martians. Mars is dry and dark and red and passion. All these things. And then Jupiter. What did we talk about Jupiter earlier? Jupiter I like because it's kind of about instigating abundance. Jupiter is this big fat dude. He's like the notorious B.I.G. of our galaxy. And Jupiter's over there just doing his thing. You know what I mean? Biggie, biggie, biggie. Can't you see? somehow Jupiter just hypnotizes me. And it's just, Jupiter is awesome. And it's all about abundance, but it's this big swirling energy, and you kind of have to be able to get on board with it. You can't control it. Okay. Got to be like Mace. You got to kind of sit back. But on the 19th, disagreements are going to heat up. So if on the 16th you didn't negotiate, or depending on if you did, we might be having an Indian giver situation. Be prepared for that, because the 19th, when things go square with Jupiter, disagreements are going to heat up. So be alert. When someone's like, actually, just step away. Or when you hear that in your own head, when you're like, you know what? Those kind of, don't. Just be like, insert, Paranormal Sarah said Jupiter gonna do this to me. So I'm gonna step away. And that's what you do. You just step away. You step away and just, you become alert. It's kind of that snake in the grass. I'm telling you that on the 19th, there's going to be some of that energy, a lot of that energy in and around us, both in a world way, country, how society works, how people work. You've got the inner psychology and how it affects us on the individual level, but then also the sociology of it, how it affects us in larger groups. Similar kind of stuff, guys, okay? So this is a cheat. Now, next, the 22nd. You got any plans that day? You do? Well, the sun is going to go into Sagittarius. What does that mean? The sun is pretty serious. As you might know, it's the center of our universe. Center of our galaxy. The sun is the center of our galaxy. It's hot. It's a big hot mama. This thing, we depend on it, and it could kill us with a single flare. It could just take out a grid. It could change our world as we know it. And it's a big fiery ball of bliss. And life depends on it. Not just us, but a lot of other organisms too. Right? And so is going into Sagittarius. What's Sagittarius about, right? Understanding others. Try to pull back from all of this bull crap that's been happening. And we're going to feel this big light. A big, the sun in Sagittarius. And we're going to be like, holy cow, I kind of feel good today. The moon will be in Taurus. Things are going to be relaxed. We are going to be able to reach higher with our intuition because the mind is going to be really quiet on this day. Astrologically speaking, we're going to feel very calm. This is going to be a great day to be in preparation for the full moon. This is a great day to rest and nourish ourselves and relax, do something we really love, to meditate, exercise our bodies. It's almost like this is going to be a day on steroids, that anything you do is going to allow you to elevate it to the next level. But on the 23rd, it's the full moon. Woo! It's going to be the full moon. Now, of course, you can depend on me. I will be providing a full moon report because the full moon this month is quite powerful. Here on the 23rd, going into Gemini. Words are going to be the most powerful tool on earth on this day. Be very careful. Be very aware of spell work, mantra work, singing, uttering whispers, things that you might even be saying to yourself. Affirmations, which are, I am beautiful because I'm a woman. And an affirmation, I am beautiful because. And make something up every day. Reduce self-hate. Reduce the negative speaking. It's going to be a really great day that if you can add that to your new habits thing for what we're building on this new moon together, you're hearing it. Maybe it's a great suggestion for you to hear, right? Join me in that. Reducing negative speaking. You know, things that we might be saying that we just want to correct. We just want to tweak it. We want to work it better for us and our loved ones around us. Linguistics, right? It's a very powerful tool. So the full moon's going to come around in Gemini. We're going to be very aware of words on this day, and I'll be giving you more cheats on that. Tune in or subscribe. But on the 24th, Neptune is going to go direct into Pisces. Dreams versus reality. This is like a darn sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to? I'm going to play that morning on the 24th. Reality becomes really clear. It's the end of the month. We're coming to the end of the month. Venus is going to be kind of head against Uranus. It's going to be love and goodbyes. We're going to have new perspectives. We're going to be kind of settling into these changes that we're making right now, these divorces, these deaths. There's a lot of death going on. Death physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. A lot of it. And that's an astrological thing that's happening right now to many of us. And come the 24th, it's going to kind of seal itself. And so really kind of know that, if that allows you comfort or not, hopefully comfort, that there's going to be some new perspectives on that day. Now, I also have written down, I do a lot of cheats like this for those who join me on my monthly intuitive sessions. I do a $30 kind of intuitive assessment where we talk one-on-one via Skype or Facebook video. And I kind of give you the cheats for how things are moving so that you can write that down in your journal. But if you too are wanting to start a journal and join us on that endeavor, write down the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, the nodes, the north, the nodes, the zeniths, right? Lilith, I add to the chart, and also Chiron. So we have some major star constellations. I love Greek mythology, so I love to learn about the constellations and their stories, whether it be Perseus and Andromeda, or anything with the Scorpion, and you know, the psychologist in me just loves it. I just love it to pieces. And so part of journaling that is kind of fun, not only for the alchemy of it, you learn the alchemy signs and symbols, but then you kind of see the date. So when you check in on that date at a specific time, even, you know that witches everywhere that are aware of that shift are joining you in a moment of meditation. For example, tomorrow at 6:39, Jupiter is going to be entering into Sagittarius, and then it's going to be direct all month long. And so tomorrow morning when I wake up, I am going to make sure that at 6:39, I give a moment to Jupiter. I give a moment to what it is I want to create in abundance. And so a lot of people for new moons, like we're having today, will say, okay, from here on, the moon is waxing. The energy is pulling us to create. The energy is pulling, and think about Scorpio. God, they are so creative and talented, multi-talented, skillful carpenters, woodworkers, people that work with their hands. It makes me just want to get out my clay, which I'm going to. I've got clay right there. I'm making Christmas presents. But it makes you want to delve into that stuff, and you should. And this is not just an excuse, but a reason, because you're going to be doing it with a great many others, and that kind of gets you on this big wave, this big vibe, this big momentum, and it allows you to surround yourself with other people and manifest things of like mind, which I think is very healthy, and it makes us feel less alone. It gives us an opportunity to feel some comfort and some reassurance in the presence of others that maybe they are, and when you watch the show, you comment or you connect with me, you know that we are. We're going to be doing a little bit of the same thing that day, celebrating some of the same things for each other, and wishing that for everyone who takes that moment to share that moment of abundance with us. So it's kind of cool. So I want you to think about that, and I've got one of those moments of celebration, one of those moments of meditation, and how to really connect with the planets out there. If you want to look up at them at the stars at night and see if they're in your night sky, wherever you are, wink at them, create a little mantra for them, and pay attention to how they pull at us individually and join us in this journaling adventure. Be sure to subscribe. Get a hold of my newsletter. You can email me directly. You can direct message me here on YouTube, or you can follow me online at Facebook or Instagram, whatever you prefer, whatever stalking method you prefer. But I want to add that, you know, sitting down and meditating, I get a lot of questions through my intuitive classes, but also through my live readings of where does this information come from, and can we go a little bit more in depth, because maybe you're a beginner, and when I say Scorpio, you're still thinking like, what? So for today, because this is the new moon in Scorpio, right? You've hung in with us this long. It's 25 minutes in almost. The new moon today is really about, well, maybe you have felt just as emotional as I have, but it's about holding nothing back. it's about being able to shed your exoskeleton, be brave, go out into the night, and do what you need to do. Even though the new moon, it is dark, it's introspective, there's no light out in the forest. So if you're not one to be able to protect yourself, you're not going to go out into the things because it's a risk. But this is that time to release your truth. If there's something that you have been neglecting within yourself, something that because of these last 6 months to 9 months, with all of us making major transformative change, moving, divorcing, losing major loved ones and having to deal with some of that, these major shifts are happening. And being able to see the new perspective and use it and say, gosh, what I have learned is this, and now I want to do this and be this person, and that's okay. It's going to look different, it's going to feel different, it's going to be slightly uncomfortable, but that is what Scorpio is about. They are like, you know what? Being sensual, being sexual for a little bit, especially the first few times, it's awkward. It's weird. Being a naked scorpion, I'm sure, is strange. These claws, this tail, like, are you a tick? What are you? Are you like a crab? Are you a shrimp? Are you a spider? It is an arachnid, but it's strange. The Scorpio, they really are able to make it work no matter what. And that's some of the energy that we need to be doing right now. One of my favorite voodoo astrologers that also just made a major life change. She's kind of riding that wave with us. And so I want to share her down here. Be sure and check her out. Her name is Bahati. And she even said, like, quote unquote, don't neglect the sparks of yourself. You kind of need this focus on you to thrive. And don't have any apologies. Like, no apologies. I need to move. I need to change my hair color. I need to shave my head. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to change my name. I need to get whatever it is. I need to change my bedspread. It may not make sense to other people, but if you're following your intuition for the right reasons, do not neglect these things that may have been dormant within yourself for a very long time, that you're feeling a great desire, pull, and yearn to start doing again. Really trust your gut and follow through with it. So, of course, anything that we're going to start doing, anytime that we're going to go within self and do some introspection, to know how much we're going to change, we have to, of course, be grounded. We have to be able to secure our roots a little bit and prioritize our inner stuff. We have to kind of lower our vibration, meditate on how to be humble. Right now is that harvest season. Look at all the blessings. Thanksgiving coming up. Gosh, look at all the things we have to be thankful for. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. But I've been repeating this monthly. If it does not serve you, let it go. I'm giving you permission. The universe is now giving you the pointer finger. Scorpio is completely all about evaluating your loss and letting memories go from being something that haunts you to being something that teaches you a lesson, something that allows you to apply, something that says, you know what, this really sucks, but I can't control that. But I see that it's given me a great power of determination and strength, and it's almost like formed me like the alchemist. I mean, it's just beating us hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And through this, we've been forged. And it's kind of a very powerful transformation, but it requires a authentic, real release. It requires you to kind of know that things might just be fated. There may not be a whole lot you can control, but prioritize what's most important, and you'll see that, gosh, once you give gratitude and let go of what you can't control, you're going to see more opportunity and positivity spring up around you, especially if you set those intentions right now, today. It's not too late. After you're watching this, even if it's tomorrow or the next day, write them down. This isn't the waning moon. We don't have to burn them or flush them or eat them or anything like that. You can write it down and put it under your pillow. The gypsies used to write it on a bay leaf and set it into the wind. It's not something that you destroy. It's something that you let go of. You allow it to biodegrade in nature. You allow the universe to do with it what it will. Sometimes shit grows the coolest mushrooms. But we're not growing mushrooms right now. Get rid of it. It does not serve us, okay? So things need to be intense. Things are going to be intense. Things need to be authentic. You're going to get what you asked for. So as things get emotional and as you do some deep introspection, I want you to, specifically today, this is an energy about being able to completely let go of shame and guilt or humiliation or whatever little parasites that you might have latched onto the connotation or the feel or how you digest asking for what you want and being specific. So that tonight at the dinner table or tonight in bed when you close your eyes and you're trying to get to sleep, or when you're driving home from work and you have a moment of silence and you see a green light and you want to symbolize growth with green. Every time you see that green light, you're giving yourself permission to do that thing which serves you most. You're giving yourself the green light to ask for what you want and to work for it. It's not going to be handed to you. But if you ask the universe, I want a black on black 2019 Jeep Rubicon Sport. I want to be able to drive my kids around, feel comfortable. I want to not worry about a tire or a rotor or an axle exploding down the highway when I'm driving to a client. I want to not have to say no to people or to my dad, who I would love to see more often. I think of him because of Scorpio. He's 452 miles away, one way. I don't have a car that I can really do that well in. God, I sure would love a car that I could do that well in, universe. And I don't want someone to die to get it. I want a good car with good energy and intention. You know, you can be specific. That's okay. You don't have to be like, oh, I don't know, I feel so bad doing that. I feel so weird doing that. Yeah, sure, you're going to feel a lot of things. That's fine. I'm telling you right now is the time to do that. Let the universe know, because otherwise the universe is going to be like, what do they want? It's like Santa at Christmas. You remember that scene? I don't know, maybe this shows my age, but A Christmas Story, when he's sitting there on Santa's knee and it's time. He's been waiting in line. Oh my God, he almost didn't make it. They were almost going to cut him, and he calls up there and he gets out the, what do you want for Christmas, little boy? Ha 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 ha. It's really terrifying. It's kind of scary. And he freezes and he's like, oh shit. Now he wants the BB gun, the Ryder BB gun, right? But he can't spit it out. He's like doing one of these. And you know what? Santa just drop kicks him right down the slide. This is the moment to ask the universe. Santa doesn't care what you're asking for. The universe doesn't care what you're asking for. Whoa, right? Can you say that about maybe a deity? They don't care what you're praying for. They care that you pray and that your intentions are good. Be specific. Be specific, please. It makes our job easier. Set goals clearly. Be flexible. Be patient. Don't say, I want my Jeep Rubicon and I want it now. This isn't a damn golden goose. This isn't a Willy Wonka show. Well, it's worse than a Willy Wonka show. But it's not Willy Wonka. And so don't be that person. That's going to show poor character. Just ask and say, because this is what I could use. This is what I would really like. I'm not going to feel guilty for asking. This could really help my life out. And then I could go visit family. I could go do this. I could go do that. With Jupiter moving into Sagittarius here tonight and tomorrow, abundance really is expanding. And so this is about what serves you. Start from your home. Start from your bed. Change your sheets, get new shampoo and conditioner, change out all your razors. Start small. Do the things that serve you, that will show appreciation to yourself, transformation, and change. But think about your intimacy and your purpose and your career, these yearning questions and philosophical pulls within you that you're going to be feeling as the planets move into certain spaces. Of course, it's going to affect everyone a little differently, depending on your sign, depending on when you're born. I go to someone like Bahati for that kind of stuff, because that's not what I do. But I do know that how much work and effort you put into something is going to be equally and given back to you with reward if you set it clearly right now as the new moon moves into Scorpio. And also, I always like to add that Pluto, which is a planet, is back there supporting us. It's a cheerleader. It's kind of the odd cheerleader that I really, really like. And Pluto is back there setting its intentions for us and saying, you know what? Ooh, Sarah, you so fine. You so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Pluto. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Pluto. Like, I love Pluto. You just never know. It's like a Monty Python movie back there. And I love it. It's distant. It's cold. It moves slowly. It's a turtle. It's wise. It's the Morla of the show. And I appreciate its wisdom. And I want to just end this new moon report, this astrology cheat, with my meditation. Please, please, please respect the lull. Use it to nourish yourself and set your intentions for this moon as it builds. Think of the beaver, someone building their dam, their place of comfort, their home base, their home team, prioritizing what's most important to them and setting their intentions with everything they do to make sure that they, them, and their community are well served. And that if it does not serve you, let it go. Respect the lull, guys, and don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter and to check in with me, especially on Facebook, as I do more and more live mini readings. I usually do them at 8:15 Central Standard Time. This last week I was out on vacation and doing things for the campaign and doing things for Halloween, and it's a crazy, crazy busy time of year. But of course I'm back, so feel free to join me there tonight and every night, and also stay tuned here, subscribe so that you will be ready with notifications for my next update, which is going to be about that full moon.